Hi, and welcome to Bits of Books. This week's book is called Have a Little Faith by Mitch Albom. I could have pronounced that wrong. Basically, he did a book called Tuesdays with Maury, and this is another one the same kind. So basically, he meets a reverend, and it's his childhood reverend. And he's going to die eventually, obviously, he's an older man, and he wants Mitch to do his eulogy. So that's what this book is about, him finding out who this reverend actually is, because obviously we don't always know who people are. So he is meeting up with them to find out who he is and what he can say about him. And each chapter is like, you learn something in each chapter, if that makes sense. Like there's like a heartfelt message in it. And it's a really, really nice read. This one, I like, this back is actually coming off because I have read it so much. So I am going to read you the bit that I like the most, and that's what Bits of Books is about. Reading you the bits that I like, and then you can make a decision, obviously, on whether you like it or want to buy it or read it or whatever. And the link will be below. I'm going to read you a little bit that I quite like. So Mitch is talking to the Reb, and he calls him Reb, and he says, "Can I ask you something?" The Reverend says, "Yes." "What makes a man happy?" Well, he looked around a hospital room that he was in at the time. "This may not be the best setting for that question." Mitch says, "Yeah, you're right. On the other hand," he took a deep breath, "on the other hand, here in this building, we must face the real issues. Some people will get better, some people will not. So it may be a good place to define what that word means." "Happiness?" Mitch asked. "That's right. The things society tells us we must have to be happy. A new this or that, a bigger house, a better job. I know the falsity of it all. I have counselled many people who have had all these things, and I can tell you that they're not happy because of them. The number of marriages that have disintegrated when they have had all the stuff in the world. The families who fought and argued all the time when they had money and health. Having more does not keep you from wanting more. And if you want more, to be richer, more beautiful, more well-known, you are missing the bigger picture. And I can tell you from experience, happiness will never come. You're not going to tell me to stop and smell the roses, are you?" said Mitch. He chuckled. "Roses would smell better than this place." Suddenly, out of the hall, I heard a faint scream, followed by a quick shh, presumably from its mother. The Reb heard it too. "Now that child," he said, "reminds me of something our sages taught. When a baby comes into the world, its hands are clenched, right? Like this." He made a fist. "Why? Because a baby, not knowing any better, wants to grab everything, to say, the world is mine. But when an old person dies, how does he do so? With his hands open. Why? Because he has learned the lesson." "What lesson?" I asked. He stretched open his empty fingers. "We can take nothing with us." For a moment, we both stared at his hand that was trembling. I'll skip on, and just towards the end of this, he says, Mitch is about to leave, and he says, "So, have we solved the secret to happiness?" "I believe so," he said. "Well, are you going to tell me?" "Yes. Are you ready?" "I'm ready." Be satisfied. That's it. Be grateful. That's it. For what you have, for the love you receive, and for what God has given you. Mitch asked one last time. "That's it?" He looked me in the eye, then he sighed deeply and said, "That's it." So I think now, more than ever, with coronavirus and everything that's going on, we have all realised the value of things. It's more important to be able to go for a walk, hug someone, meet your family, meet your friends, spend time with people, not spend money on things. And and we've all learned the value of money, I think. So that really hit true with me for this week especially. If you're like that, the book is called Have a Little Faith. I'll put a link below for it as well. It's a true story, and I just think it's real interesting. Hope you're all having a great day.